Hey guys, welcome to my 8th Inkscape video tutorial. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm trying to make it a little short. I did good on the last one. I'm going to try to keep it that way. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to keep them a little shorter now. Man. Okay, so I told you guys we're going to go over nodes. Nodes are points on your object that you use to transform the object, or I should say paths. I'm sorry. And I use objects in a general sense, as in whatever is on your, that you're working on. Anything but, it's in your document, it's an object. But actually, the way Inkscape sees objects is they are, they're objects without nodes, and that's like your circle and your square. But paths, on the other hand, have nodes in them, and you can change objects to paths if you were watching my last tutorials. And again, sorry about the length on them, but there was a lot to go over, and I wanted to show you guys some examples and everything. I guess I got excited. But yeah, I'm going to try to make them shorter. But in my last video, in one of my last videos, I showed you guys that stuff. So I made a shape here, and you can just make any random shape. And these are nodes right here. And they are, I don't know. Okay, let's just go down the tool list. This will be easier. Okay, so I can select a segment, or I can select a node. Let's select this segment. Now you see how it highlights both nodes, but because that's one segment, and this kind of boils down to algebra type stuff, because they have segments in algebra as far as like the grids with the x and the y axis. So yeah, I mean, some of the terminology is going to be the same as math, because again, vector graphics are done using math. You don't see the math, but when you make an object like this, it does math that tells the program that there's a line here that's connected to this line to this, and then it makes a shape. And no matter what you add or take away on here, it does math to do that. Granted, I believe images that you import, if you embed them, it does the math. If you link them, it just it does kind of like an HTML type of href equals the file name, and it brings it onto the thing. But I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, we're just gonna go down. Okay, so I've selected the segment, not just one node, but the actual segment by clicking on the line, and then I want to add a node. Bam, added it right in the middle. Let's add another one real quick. Okay, whoa, it actually added two, one on either side of that, so it keeps it symmetrical. But I want to take one away. I don't need that many. And it took them all away because they were all selected. So whichever one you select is it's going to delete it. Yeah, see that? Now I didn't want to get into those yet, so let's just go ahead and go back. Go back. Oh, what do we got here? Join selected nodes. Okay, so I'm going to delete the segment. Oh, well, that didn't work. Okay. Well, I guess before we... There we go. This is how you delete a segment, which I was going down the line, so I didn't want to do it that way. So, but I guess I have to because okay, I've got both of these nodes selected, right? So all I need to do is join the selected nodes, and I've used this a lot in design work. I'm trying to think. Oh, I don't actually have an example of the one that I remember specifically on this computer, so I can't show you. But let's say here, let's do this real quick. I'm going to make a circle, right? And then I'm going to go to paths, and I'm going to convert it into a path using objects to path. There you go. And that makes it, see, that adds nodes to it. I'm going to add a couple more nodes, and you can do this if you want. But okay, you can hold shift just like selecting objects. You can hold shift to select multiple nodes, and I want to do that because I'm going to take away this segment real quick. See, now there's no line here, and the only reason why the fill's right there, and watch this. Oh, I still got both selected. Hold on. There we go. You see, the fill goes away because it's there's nothing really connecting those two. Okay, so then let's go. I'm gonna go to this object, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing, which is take away the line segment. Okay. Now this is gonna be a little crazy. Now to show nodes in two separate objects at the same time, you just select, hold shift and select the object. See, now you've got both your nodes. Shift and control are going to be your best friends using Inkscape, as well as a lot of programs, but what I'm going to do, and I should probably go ahead and just actually move this down. I was going to do it a different way, but let's do it this way. Okay, so I got them both selected. Now you can select select your nodes, on your different objects that you want to connect. Now, because keep in mind they are going to connect. And I was going to do it using this object, but I figured, all it's going to look like is the line came back. So I want to show you that you can actually connect two different objects with nodes just by making open spaces in both objects and then selecting the nodes you want to attach to each other. So it's going to put a segment between these nodes. You see, and it adopted the fill because it becomes one object. But I want to close this object, so I might as well do the other side, right? Okay, and you didn't see anything happen there, but there is a line segment there now. So it is fully connected. It's become one object. And you can do that with any objects as long as there's nodes. And if there's not nodes, it's again, I'm using the word object when they're paths. But yeah, you can do it with any path. You can't do it with objects, but you can convert objects to paths, which will get the job done. So I'm going to take all this off real quick and go back to my regular shape. There we go. Okay, now, well, let's use a circle. And the reason why is because I'm about to show you guys how to break the little, and I don't, okay, the little arms on the nodes that control the curve of the line segment. Sometimes they come in and it'll do it on this. If I just convert it to path, sometimes they're proportionate to where if you move one, it moves the other one. See how it's moving both of them. But let's say I just want to move one of them. One second. Sorry about that. While I was gone, I found an article over mesh gradients or mesh screens or mesh masks. That is an option in Illustrator. It's not in Inkscape. However, it's now showing that it is, and this is as of 2011. It says it requires a build. Now I'm going to look into this. I'm going to do a tutorial on it if it's possible to get it done. Sorry about that. Well, anyways, the reason why I bring it up is because it uses nodes, as you can probably see on these intersections, and it's part of coloring. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do something about that later. I was just looking that up while I was dealing with a customer. So, for right now, though, okay, we are on. Yeah. So we played with this, and we saw that it moves them proportionately. Generally, and whenever you make an object, sometimes it doesn't. And in order to get those arms to pop up, you just kind of got to move the segment. You see that? Okay, and now notice how there's not one on the other side. There is, but you got to move it, and they move independently. But sometimes when you make an object, they don't. And so whenever that happens, and you want to actually move them independently, all you need to do is use this tool, make selected nodes corner. See, and I clicked on that, and then no, I didn't click on it right. There we go. See? And now they're moving independently of each other. And just that one. See? But if you shift click on them, you can just go ahead and change them all at the same time. See? Okay. Now, I believe this actually reverses that. Yeah, see, that made them all equal again, or proportionate. However, it doesn't really make the length proportionate, just the angle of them. And what else? Okay, I haven't used this one before. Let's see what it does. Oh, okay, yeah, obviously. That actually made the length symmetrical. So they're the same length on both sides. Which is good for trying to get a good equal proportion. Auto smooth. And I guess what that does is it puts it in the best possible position for you, based on the object itself. Which I don't use that one. I mean, you can. It has its purposes. Make selected. Okay, and this is another one I haven't used. But let's look at it real quick. Okay, so I just made it a straight line. And again, you can retransform it if you would like. And this will make it a curved line, which it's already got its arms out, so it's not going to do it for you. But let's see. Let's do this for this side. Okay, notice how the arms aren't sticking out, but I have the segment selected. I do that, and bam, so you've got your arms now. And the way I always do it, I just kind of mess with it a little bit, and that pops the arms out too. But you can use that button if you'd like, because it does, whenever the way I do it does kind of dislodge it a little bit from its original position. And that is actually a tool, and that's cool. I didn't know that was there. That is this, and it even has the same symbol. I should have known. So this is your stroke to path. No. Yeah, see, converts selected object stroke to path. And we went over that when I was messing with paths. But we can do it again real quick, just a quick one, just to show you. I want to add a stroke here. I held down Shift and clicked on the color, and then I'm going to change the length of it for you, or the width of it. Sorry. And let's change the color of the object so we can actually see the stroke. Yeah. Alright, sorry, I'm wondering if I'm even going to get through this. So we're going to convert the stroke to path. You can see what it did. Let me zoom in real quick. I'm using Control, and I'm using my touchpad to scroll, but really it's like the mouse wheel. But you just hold Control and do that, and see, and wherever your mouse is, that's where it's going to zoom in on the point. So you see what it did. It changed it from that object to just the stroke of the object, and it made it transformable. And I guess that's actually another way to kind of make a 3D looking object. But yeah, you can transform it. You can change the color of it, and it turns it into a path, just like it says. Okay, and then like your X and your Y, these are positions. And if I click on, let's say I click on this, see how it changes, because that's the position of the node. Because we're using the node tool, or edit paths by nodes, which that's what we're doing. We're just editing the path using nodes. So we can like change this to let's just change it to 1 and watch what happens. See, it goes all the way to 1 on the x-axis. Now let's change the y to, and this can be used with anything. If you use your select tool, it has the same options, and you see how it's positioned at 1 on the x-axis, and that's because the starting of the object is right here. So yeah. Sorry, we're having a severe weather alert, and so it's got me so distracted. So I've changed it to 1, 1, and so now you can see that 1 and 1 on the x and y axis where they intersect, basically, or let's do 0 and 0 because it's where they truly intersect. Bam. Okay, and you notice it only went down 1 pixel, but this is your true. So you're on the positive quadrant of your x and y axis. Again, it's algebra stuff. That it's just really the terms and doesn't mean anything, but it helps you out as far as like positioning and stuff if you want to position that way. And you might be asking why you want to position that way. And there's times where maybe if you watched my cutting video, not cutting for Bieber, but like cutting object or cutting and exporting images. This will help you out a lot as far as positioning, as long as you know the height and the width of what you're trying to cut versus everything else you're cutting. You'll come out with perfect cuts every time. And yeah, so I guess I just covered that, and I covered the node selector tools. So what else do we got here? Show clipping paths of selected object. I have no idea what a clipping path is, and that's, again, I mean, if it makes sense to me, I'll probably know what it is and I'll show you. But again, I don't. So Okay, so yeah, I don't know what that is, as well as show masks of selected object. This again is the mask, the mesh masks, I believe, is what's going on there. And again, I'm going to try to do a tutorial on that. So show next editable path effect parameter. That is not highlighted, which means it's probably not an option with this object. Show transformable handles for selected nodes. Okay. There's no node selected. That's probably why I didn't do that. And I believe it's these arms. So yeah, I don't really know about that one. Okay, and well, no, this one, these are your handles. So I couldn't tell you what that does. Show path outline. See, and this, and don't get this confused with a stroke because they're not the same thing. See, whenever I unselected it, it goes away. But you notice how, and anytime you do this with an object, it goes red, and that's just to show you the outline of the object, which I believe, yeah. See, it still does without that selected, but it doesn't show it with it with the object with the path selected. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my terminology straight. But with the path selected, it's not going to show it unless you click that. And there you go. And that's an outline. And that's because, and this is helpful, and this is a good example right here. You notice how this, without this, it just looks like this yellow goes down here, and then it comes off this way. Well, if you select this, you realize that it doesn't really do that. This actually doubles back, and it stretches down, down to where we put it on the X and Y axis. You see, and so that's good for like keeping, like if you layer over with the same object, like this is layering over its own self, and so it shows you where that's happening at. So that can be pretty useful. Okay, I'm gonna end this video now, and I'm gonna make another video, and I had it at the top of my head. Well, let's go over. I'm gonna go over the dropper. That's gonna be really quick. Create diagram connectors. You know, we might use that one. We might go over that, or the calligraphy tool. I tell you what, we could probably cover all that in like 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here, and if you want to join me in the next video, we'll go over a couple more tools.